My name's Jacob. I'm a business manager here at SignAgent, and I'm excited to kick things off by introducing our presenter, David Dritsma. Dave is the president of SignAgent. He experienced the pains of sign programming the old way until he designed and developed his own solution, SignAgent. It's actually an exciting time. We're coming up on our 3-year anniversary of the cloud-based version of SignAgent. Yeah, so it's exciting. Since January 2018 and now, SignAgent is trusted by hundreds of the world's top wayfinding design firms and gives sign designers, sign managers, and sign fabricators complete control of their projects through their entire life cycle, including what today's topic is, the ability to collaborate. So Dave is going to talk about how everyone can be involved and invited in SignAgent at each stage of a signage and wayfinding project. So again, yeah, it's being recorded. Please enter any questions in the chat. Jesse will answer, and Dave might even show you live near the end of the webinar. So take it away, Dave.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so as Jacob mentioned, this was a collaboration in SignAgent. And really what I wanted to focus on is the collaboration by inviting people, the stakeholders in particular, and then at the stage part of it. So, so we're going to start off the webinar just by sort of going through some parts here. So learning just for the collaboration, about inviting stakeholders, stages or states. And then sort of going through and showing some demos of what it looks like when your client is in there, what it looks like if the fabricator's in there or the designer, and sort of go through sort of 2 scenarios, followed by any questions that you have. And at that point, I can always just go to the live site for that. So collaboration. The action of working with someone to produce or create something. So we're trying to create signs, make signs, and that's sort of what our passion is here at SignAgent. And so we're inviting. That's pretty self-explanatory, but the questions is like, why do we invite? Previously, we, SignAgent Pro, if there's any users of SignAgent Pro, it actually might be good to see if anybody has used, if you want to do a poll or something like that, who has used the previous version of SignAgent Pro. But previously you'd issue deliverables as message schedules and location plans, and then you'd get, you deliver them, the client would review them maybe, or they'd review the earlier one when you sent 3 versions of it down, and then it just got to be a really, really messy situation. And so what we want to do is we want to invite people into SignAgent where there is a single source of truth, which is in SignAgent. And then it's also real-time data. So meaning like the information that's in there is sort of real time, and it shows the history of in the audit trail. And then again, of course, collaboration. I mean, that's self-explanatory. It's in the title, but working together. So rather than sort of working in the silos of I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, but we actually don't give you information along the way. We kind of make you recreate it. In some cases, that's good. Like you want to make sure that the fabricator actually knows what they're building. As opposed to just copying and pasting your design intent drawings, and then it saves time and money because you end up you're not repeating yourself. You're going through, you're finding efficiencies. So that's really the big thing. So then the next thing is where to invite. And so here's a little quick video, and this is the SignAgent dashboard of a standard project. And you can invite at the organizational level on the dashboard just by going to the 3 dots and add a user, or you can do it at the project level and add a user, or you can even do it at any one of the states. And we're going to go into much more, or I'm going to go into much more detail about those, but you can add a user from there as well. So that's one option as to where you can do those. And then the next option is actually in the project. Okay, so then you go to the organizational part here and you click edit, and then that brings you to the details, and you can add as an admin or a viewer. And those admins and viewers are, they can read, write, pretty much do everything for the project, for the organization and for the project, and they can set everything up. These viewers, they can only see everything that's being done, but they can't actually change anything. And there's actually no charge for the viewer. And then as we go through, in the project here, you can add here at the project level. And again, these project members here, they are able to create within this project. So in this case, this organization has many projects on the go. And this can be used for when, say, a facility is inviting a design firm to actually implement a project. And so you can have one design firm working on one project while you have another design firm working on, say, these COVID projects. So these people can edit and create signs within this project. These people can view within the project. And there's no charge for the viewers. And then in the actual state itself, there is an assigned user, and this person is able to, whoever's in here, they are responsible for performing the actions here. And I'll show you, we'll go into, you'll see more about this sort of moving forward. There's no charge for them inside SignAgent on the web. There is a charge for the mobile platform for that, but it's a reduced cost because and the mobile license is included in a full license cost. Okay, so let's lay this out. And then, yeah, they're responsible for those. And these are adjustable based on, if it's an installer doing an install, you might want to say to install, installed, or not installed. And you can sort of create those however you want to, okay? And then the next thing is who to invite. And we want to invite the stakeholders. So a stakeholder is a person with interest or concern in something, especially a business. And, that's for us for sure. And then, we want to have success. So they have a vested interest in working together, collaborating, and bringing it together and being more efficient. Okay, so our first stakeholder that I want to introduce is Alex, and Alex is a designer. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos or not. Depending on our time, if people want to stick around later on, I do have them in the queue after the questions, but you can go to our YouTube channel and they're available there. But so Alex is a designer, and in the case of what I'm going to be laying out is Alex is actually an assigned user here in the first case. So he is a designer, and we'll show you where he is invited. And then we have Jen, and Jen is a manager. So she's a facility manager, and she has, she's been invited to review the work. And then we have Tom, and Tom is a fabricator. Tom's responsible for making the signs. And then we have Melissa, and Melissa is responsible for installing the signs. So she's the installer. And in this project, I'm the admin. Okay, the admin is basically, if you go back to that organizational spot, they are the person who is able to give people permissions and do the work and set things up. And the admin can actually be on the designer side, they can be on the manager side, and really any of these people can sort of move interchangeably through those parts. And I guess the one part that I'm not showing here is the project person, but that's, again, we'll just say for this one, we're just dealing with a single project, okay? So I, the admin, invited Alex, Jen, and Tom, and Melissa to the project in their particular states, and I set those up by going to the actual state and creating it, okay? And then, so the states or the stages is a point, period, or step in the process or development. So again, it all comes together. We're all working together and we're all doing our part in this process. And so what SignAgent does is we allow you to have completely flexible and completely customizable workflows. So if one project requires a survey, you can add a survey state and you invite somebody to do that state. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And then, and you can adjust for the needs of the stakeholder. So if you're saying, okay, well, you do one review, then the client says, okay, well, we want to do another review, or we want Bob to review this, or, you know, you're able to completely expand and contract as much as you want in the states. And then these are all templatable. So once you've found your sweet spot and you're like, this is how we work as a company, and we're really humming along here, you can start and you can use that project, the workflow, over and over again. So you can just step and repeat that. Okay. So in here, I'm looking at my dashboard, and this is the admin dashboard. So you can see that I've set up this project here for survey, design, review, bid, fabrication, installation, punch list, complete. And then I've invited Alex, the designer, Jen, Tom, Melissa, and then Alex is doing the punch list again, okay? And then when I go into my admin panel, so that's me in the corner, right? This is what I see. And I see the 62 signs overall in this project. And so that includes signs that are in design. You can see surveys got signs that they're all sort of spread out pretty well. The only one that doesn't have anything, and that's punch, because I guess Alex hasn't done his punch list yet. Okay, and then I'm going to show you now what Alex sees when Alex logs in. So if this is Alex's first job, Alex will see one project here, and he's doing a survey, and he can see survey and punch, okay? And then when he logs in, he can see those signs, and it minimizes the sidebar. And then when you go in here, they can also expand it. And again, you see that there's only now 2 states here being shown, because those are really the only parts that he's responsible for, okay? And he can also take this on the go with an iPhone or an iPad. And when he logs in there and synchronizes the information, he has access at his fingertips as well. And right now, the 6 of 6 is for that level 1 plan. So, and then Jen, and this is sort of a cross section, right? So Jen is seeing 9 signs in her review that are ready for her review. Here's her 9 signs. She can use the filters if she wants, but it comes in as a default this way. And then when she could expand that, she could also walk the floor using the iPhone or an iPad and sort of go right up to the spot and sort of take a photo or do any of the things that she wanted as well. But that, again, would require the mobile license for that. And then Tom, the fabricator, Tom has 17 signs in his section, and in his fabrication section, he clicks on the organization, he sees his 17, you can download the artwork, you can play with the filters, but again, he's only seeing the signs that are ready for fabrication. He's not seeing the signs that are in draft, he's not seeing other things. And you'll see in a moment that the audit trail actually has a lot of information in there where it shows when the sign was created, that it was approved. So there's all these assurances to Tom that he knows he can comfortably make that sign and move forward. Okay. And again, here's the signs, and this sidebar here scrolls up and down, so you can see where 71 ends here, 71 ends there. 11 is just sort of underneath that. And then Melissa, the installer, she's ready to, she's got 14 signs that she's allowed to install. And when she logs in, she sees 14. She can expand it as well. And again, yeah, she has access to the signs in the mobile. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, we're actually going to do day in the life of one sign. And basically it's sort of walking through this step, sort of one sign at a time. And just to show you that you have that fine-tooth control over, what you can do, what you can see, how you can set it up. And really the sky's the limit on this. So yeah, day in the life. So first we're gonna have Alex is going out to the medical facility and he's gonna go do his survey, okay? So here he's on his phone, he clicks on the medical facility, zooms in, taps the screen, and his thing pops up. He sees the picture, and it's that's the sign where it's supposed to go. So I didn't have signs in my house up, so I put that there, and he said okay, marks the sign in that spot, and now he's syncing the information back up. And then once that information is synchronized up to the cloud, then myself, the administrator, I am marking the sign. I'm going to play this here, and when I log in, I see the one sign, and I zoom in and I see it there, and I can click on the sign, and then I can see that it's in the survey state. So if I'll pause this. I see that it's in the survey state. I can see that, Alex created this sign 0 minutes ago because we're moving really fast here. And, he took that photograph, so I can see all that information. And it's in survey right now. So I would just want to move this to design, and then I'm going to make it a room ID. And then I'm going to confirm the picture. I can click on that. And then I'm going to go and just save it. So I'm doing Command S or Control S, depending. And then I want to add the sign. So the form now fills out, and then I'm going to edit this. And then I can choose the inherited value for that color. And I'm picking the brown color, the shitty brown color. And now I can type in the room number. So I'm going to use the 448C. And then I can actually, because the photograph was taken, we actually do an OCR of all the text and photos. And so I can now copy and paste. I don't have to retype. And then I hit save. And now this sign is now, Alex created it. I made changes. And now I'm going to move it to review. Okay, and now the sign is ready for review. There's a couple of things. So this color is being inherited from the location, and it's actually auto doing the Braille for you as well. So these are all pieces that were set up, and actually that's in other webinars as well if you wanted to go back to some of those. So when Jen logs in, she's actually now, because I did the one project and now I have this other project, she's actually seeing these two projects here. And so when she starts off here, she can see the medical facility. She clicks on review and it goes directly to that sign, and she can zoom in and she looks at it and says, okay, you know, that's, oh yeah, that's it's kind of weird. It's right in the middle of that column. So what should I do? She's gonna actually just leave a comment basically saying, just move it to the right spot. And I'll approve this anyways. And she is a slow typer apparently. And then, yeah, so now she leaves the comment, and then she just approves it. Now, one thing that you'll notice here is actually that Jen is not able to change sign types as a reviewer. She can't change sign types. And artwork is actually showing up just by itself if there's artwork. Okay, so if there was no artwork, then she would be seeing the messages fields that were originally there. But because there's artwork, we're saying that it's more important that she sees the artwork than the fields, because she can now get that visual representation of it. Okay, and then yeah, she approves the sign and she's done. Okay, so then I get a notification saying Jen has completed her review. When I log in, I see, okay, great. Here's the review. Jen has completed her one. And when I started, I'm gonna click on the project. It brings me to that, the plan. I can zoom, log in, see the wonderful new sign that we have here. I can make changes to the messages and stuff like that because I'm the admin. I see her message. I actually get a notification up here as well that she made a message. And then I can say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna move it. And then I can move it to the spot. And then I'm gonna say, okay, this is ready for fabrication now. Okay, and then it's Command S, Control S, or scroll down and hit save. And there we go. So that is me taking it from the review and moving it to the next stage. So now here's when Tom logs in, he's going to see again, he was on both these projects. So he's now seeing two projects. And when he logs in, he's got the one project assigned for fabrication. He can see an expanded list view if he chooses, and so can the client. And then when he logs in, he can see all that, and then he can just export the artwork. And there's one sign right now. So he may want to say, okay, well, let me do it when there's 20 signs that are in. This is too soon for me to start creating. But again, if this was one sign and it was, it's a pretty important sign, we may want to take care of this one right away. And again, it's seeing the forest through the trees, and to be able to focus on one sign. But you could also be moving hundreds of signs together through this process as well. Okay. And then, so that's Tom. And then again, so now Tom has completed his fabrication. And then when I log in, I go in again, and now this sign has moved to fabrication. And then I'm gonna say, okay, let's move this to installation. And then mark it. And again, this whole time, we're getting that audit trail of all of the work that's being done in here, right? So I see the comments that were made before. I see that Tom completed the sign. And I'll just let this play. And so now I've moved the sign. It's now ready for installation. So maybe you're asking, like, how come the fabricator can't just move the sign from fabrication to installation? And that'd be a great question. And really, right now, the fabricator is as an assigned user, and they're responsible for just that one state. And they're actually unable to move signs from state to state. You need to have either an administrative license for that. So there is a charge for that type of thing. And again, this fabrication process can go from one line here, but it could also be an expanded list, again, to meet the stakeholders' needs. Maybe they're cutting the material, they're applying, the paint, they're doing all of these different steps. And again, all of that can be tracked and kept in those audit trails so that the client can see what's happening. The fabricator can see what's happening, or the fabricator sees what's happening, but, the designer sees what's happening. So it's really very, very handy. You don't have those phone calls again of saying, oh, hey, the designer's like, oh, hey, Tom, got to have this hard conversation. How are things going? It's like, it's self-evident how it's going. Okay, so the signs are now moved to installation. So then Melissa is on her iPhone or iPad, and she comes in and she can click on the level. She can zoom in a bit, or she can click on the link there, and then she sees the artwork. She sees the sign that's in her, in the box that she's working with, and she can also see the previous sign where it is. And then she can install the sign. So she's installed it, and then she can take a photograph of it, and then she marks it as installed, and then synchronizes it back up. Those little up arrows indicate that there's information on the mobile device that needs to be copied up. And once you've synchronized all that information, then it goes up to the cloud. And now the final step is actually just moving this sign to complete. And actually, I guess the one step I missed in this one here to make it similar to the previous one would have been Alex doing the punch list. But again, maybe Jen has complete confidence in the system now that she no longer needs to spend additional money to do a punch list because the installer is actually installing the sign. I'm just saying that could be a possibility. So admin is now moving the sign to complete. Click on installation. Select the sign. And then again, yeah, you see the new photograph. You look at it, say, oh yeah, that looks level. I know that's my side monitor. It's not really a sign, but again, no signs at home. And then let it look good, save it. And we are done and complete. All right, so, and then I guess, yeah, next is any questions? And then I would be happy to sort of go through either one of those projects with in more detail, showing how to create the states themselves, those types of things. So here, I'm gonna exit this now and come back here, and I'll stop sharing my screen.
So Dave, one question.
Yes. Yep.
One question that came in near the end is, can you set up timelines for each state to kind of show everyone what is supposed to be going on? And I know you can, but if you can show that and how it kind of appears in the dashboard, I think that'd be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so in this, oh, am I sharing my screen still? No, or am I? Yes.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, so for this collaboration project, I can come in here and you see that we've got our states, the progress that's being made and complete. So then we have this start date and an end date. I can choose my start date. We can say that, well, really, we want to start this. Let's say we want to start it on the 7th and we want to get it done by the 23rd. Right, so we're going to get a whole bunch of signs coming through here. Just going to refresh this. Here we go, 23rd. And then survey, we can go in and say, well, this was done. We're going to give a week from the 9th to the 13th for the surveying. And you can see that that's showing up as overdue because that's sort of in the past. So once the survey is being done for the project, you can then basically just check it off here. And then it marks it as completed and then sort of makes the text or start dates, it sort of null and voids them and makes it so it doesn't really evaluate them. So yeah, and then let's say that actually installation, I'm not going to bother moving these around, but let's say that we wanted to do installation in the future. And then you can see that if it doesn't overlap in the time, then it shows that up as blue information. And it just means that, you know, this is something that's coming up. Yeah, and then we saw the red already, so. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
One just came in from Maria asking if you can download plans and schedules to give to an electrician for illuminated signs, etc.
Yes. Yeah. So what you would do, ideally, you could actually just invite them into the project. I'm gonna keep always going back to that. Because you could actually create an own state and say these are electrical and then move the signs into there. Or you could go to the project and say, here, let's do that. We could just say, I want a new state and this is electrical, you know, priority. And then you can invite the permission person in there for that. And that would be David plus, or David plus manager at SignAgent.com. That was the email that I used. And then we can just do that. And then actually, I won't even put somebody in there for now. And then we'll save that. We get a state there. There's the electrical priority. Depending on where that goes, you can move that around just by dragging and dropping it. And then I'll go to my location. And then we can say, okay, well, all the directional signs are electrical priority. then I can select all of these signs and move them into electrical priority. And then I can just export this. And then I go here and say export. And then you can do PDF location plans, Excel message schedule, PDF template, and the likes, and then export. And then you're gonna get just those ones.
One other thing you can do to kind of add on to that a bit, Dave, is that if you want a certain state, like the electrical state, for example, to have a certain set of technical drawings or other sort of information, you can attach a file to the entire state so that anyone who you've invited into this organization or project or state will be able to see those files and access them. So rather than them emailing you and saying, hey, can you send me standards package from 2 weeks ago, or even worse, them accessing something that's out of date, you can just attach the files right to the state or the location. It will attach into every sign that's sort of downstream from that. And then everyone will be working off of the same thing at the same time. So it makes sharing information really easy in here too.
Yeah, so what Jesse's saying there is if I come into this electrical priority, if there was permits or there were different electrical pieces that are included for this, I can actually, I'm just gonna look for a PDF on my hard drive here for a second. And let's just say that this README file here is that electrical priority. So we want the people to read this before. So it's now in this electrical priority. And now when I go to my signs that are on electrical priority, it now has that that README file associated with it. And we actually did the same thing for the location plan that it's on. So this actually has a separate location plan. And so those can happen either directly at the sign level where you do that, if it's to that sign particular, or whether it's to the state or the project, and even organizational level. So if there's a brand standard, you can do any number of things. So, but you can attach permit pieces and all that, and that all has gives everybody in the project access to those files. Okay, yeah, so yeah, notifications. Yeah, we do, I think Jesse answered it in the comments there, but there are some limitations to the notifications, and I'd say that is one of the pieces that we are looking to expand upon in the coming year, to just make it that much more customizable for you guys as well, so that if you want people to know that it's ready, then it's ready. If they don't, then you don't, and to give you more control over that. So. Any other questions there, Jesse? That
I think I got most of the other ones. People can send in angry messages really quickly. Oh, there's one from Matthew that just came in.
Yeah, I believe we have some web. Do we have tutorials on that, Jesse? Or
We do. So right now there's a step-by-step tutorial that goes through pretty much what David went over today. So it has like, this is the email you're going to get. This is how you log into SignAgent. This is how you get started. So right now it's just a step-by-step article, but I think we're going to be improving not just that tutorial, but a number of our tutorials with videos in the coming year as well. So yeah, right now it's just text that they'll have to read. but we're going to be adding videos to that one and some others in the future too.
Yeah, and there is also, there are some those videos that I mentioned. So if I go to, I won't necessarily play them right now, but if I go to here, there are 2 videos, one for Alex being the designer. So it's showing, so if you're looking to talk to, say, your boss about why you might want to use SignAgent because, and give them some, give them a document or even a fabricator to reach out to a designer, that would be watching the Alex video. And then there's also the Jen video. And that video sort of goes through and talks about the issues that Jen or the facility manager, the wayfinding manager for facility, sort of the problems that she deals with day in and day out. And we are currently also working on a video for the fabricator as well. And yeah, so those could either be materials that maybe not slightly and not directly related to that, but if you want to approach your client with the possibilities of them managing and maintaining your work after the fact, this would certainly be a good video for them to see. Yeah, so Kelly asked a question about that. I think that you can add, I think there's, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you might be able to add a symbol just by inserting it as a text file into that piece, or like into your sign tag. If that is not possible, we should have it so that we can insert a symbol for electrical that you can upload. And I guess the other thing would be is that you could actually include it into the customized template. So the actual the custom marker that you build, you could have a triangle with the box, and then inside that triangle there could be a circle with a lightning bolt right inside of that. So it wouldn't necessarily be right in the actual sign tag itself, but rather the sign marker.